Hey guys, and welcome back to another weekly edition of my podcasts by yours truly, Aaron. So, I actually have a few things I want to present in this podcast. So, I got some topics I like to try to continue on from previous podcasts, but for starters, my news and updates of all the new videos, new games and stuff. Also, some other plugs I'm going to be putting in there that I need help with and whatnot. Also, I'll be discussing some important thoughts and some other things that are just kind of on my chest, kind of there, and I need to get them out. If you view the same way or disagree, stay tuned. Check it out. Also, I have my final segment where I do plugs and also give credit where credit's due for not only my photos in this, as well as all the audio and the contributions from other people that has helped me out. So, you guys, be sure to stick around, listen to it, and give me a like, or, share me around. So, stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone's had a stellar week. So far, May has been a pretty decent month for me. I'm not gonna lie. If you've listened to previous podcasts, it has been ups, downs, left, right, middle, kind of in the center, who knows where. Half the time I don't know where. Sometimes I don't even know who I am or what I am. I still don't. I'm still researching all that fun stuff and, well, yeah, obviously you can tell. Anyway, back to the cast of itself for the third installation of Aaron's podcast. Anyway, so for my news and updates section I got 3 sections. We're going to check it out. New videos. I have been entirely non-progressive in this area because, simple fact, I've been lazy. Just gonna be straight up with you guys. I've been lazy, but I've also hit a quagmire. Not in ideas or, that kind of area. Just the drive, I guess you would say, is more appropriate for the term. I start playing the games and stuff, and I love them, and then it just kind of, life hits you, and you just kind of, you're like, where am I? Who am I? Anyway, Fallout 4, I have not given up, actually, on that. I have recorded a ton of material, so I gotta edit that and become a progressive person again in my life and make some footage for that. So, be looking forward to some Commonwealth material, as well as the DLC content, Far Harbor. I have done quite a bit on that, and I'm very happy and pleased with the results from my exhibitions into Far Harbor. So I think you guys will enjoy some of that. Resistance. I have actually got material for that. Not edited, but it's together. So it's getting, the material has been gathered, but I gotta do all the work now. So with that said, there should be a new Resistance film coming out soon, and I got a new idea I'm going to experiment with. It's called Top 6. Obviously, everyone sees all the thousands of YouTube. Top 10, top this, top that. The greatest ranking of this or the greatest ranking of that. Or my top. This is just solely, I had an idea. I really wanted to put it out there simply because I want to express my own opinion and my own viewpoint for the sole pleasurement of myself. So I'm going to make a top 6. It's not ranking from the best to the least. It's only my personal favorites. There's no rank to them. It's just based off of, I'll explain more on the video itself, but it's pretty much just English. Based off of my experiences and my love of something. Based off how much emotion it brought into me, what kind of mood point it set in my life, and just at that moment what I felt and how it made me feel, I guess is what you would say. So it's not so much, voting and who's right and who's wrong. It's more or less just, it's something I really enjoyed, and it was a memorable moment. And, that's what I'm going to bring up. But it's going to be based off of material that everybody knows. So it's not going to be just like, this random moment in my life when I was just a child and I didn't know better and, nobody else knows it. And be all like, the fuck? Anyway, new games. Seriously, Total War Warhammer was released 24th of this month, and I've yet to get it yet. Yes, double entendre. I will get it. I plan to get it. I plan if I have to sell plasma, which looks like is a possibility in this area, I'll get it. And I'm going to play it. And it's going to be great because I'll get to be the orcs and they'll go, Whoa! For any of those Warhammer references that you may not know because you don't play it, or play the tabletop games, or read the books. If you do, you'll know what I mean. And that's who I'm hoping for. Dishonored 2. I was looking at this game and I read it in an article recently, and I really enjoyed the first Dishonored. A girlfriend of mine at the time was all about it because she said it looked cool, so she made me play it, and I was skeptical. But, needless to say, I suck at stealth games. I'm the type that just likes to run in there and stab everybody. And this game forced me to be more, conscious of being stealthy, but at the same time gave me powers to compensate for my lack of interest in hiding in the dark or stealthing around or something. And trying to, I had to outwit my enemies. And I really enjoyed the first one. And I also enjoyed the steampunk version of it. But the story, it was hit or miss for me. I mean, I liked the story, I liked the concept of it, but it just seemed kind of just placed into there to make filler for the content that it was. But needless to say, Dishonored 2 looks really good, and I am looking forward to that. But enough about games. I always do weather, because it seems like weather has been a part of my existence, obviously, but in my family and everybody else around me seems to be conscious about the weather for every existence. Hey, the storm's coming. Hey, terror, some sort of tornado's happening. Not terror, obviously, but some tornado, some hurricane, some sort of this, some earthquake, some that. And it's just like, goodness gracious. Okay, I look outside. It's sunny. Boom, it's rainy. Boom, it's sunny. Boom, it's rainy. Boom, there's a tornado. Boom, there's cats. It's pure pandemonium. So, with that, I'm pretty happy with the consistency of the weather currently. Kentucky has a notorious way of not being consistent. One day, it's gorgeous, it's sunny, you're sweating, it's beautiful. Next day, it's 30 degrees, you gotta get your winter coat back on, it's raining, and you're like, what is this form of hell, and what have I done to beseech you? So, with that said, it's been really warm. Really, really warm. And for a car that doesn't have air condition, oh my goodness. Let me just say, it's fun. But enough about cars. I hate my car personally. But not hate it itself, but hate the situation it's in currently. Because it's an older model, but I call her Old Glory. She's been there since forever, actually. I've had that car since 08. So yeah, she's been there through ex-girlfriends, she's been there through travels, she's been there through everything. With that though, time has to, you have to make do, you have to change things up, you gotta get something new. She's held her ground and she's done her job, and quite brilliantly. And the other section, the final section, is I am looking to commission an artist. I have 2 or 3 ideas for portraits I need done, and I want done, and I highly doubt my podcast will get out to anybody, but if anybody that does listen to this knows of any artists that can do sort of like mecha, steampunk, sorta armor-looking warrior type commissions, let me know, because I'm seriously looking for it, and I need it pretty readily quickly. So if you know anybody, suggest it, or tell them, or whatever works, if you're listening by this point anyway. So now, to the best part of them all, the discussion and thought process. I like to dilly-dally, and I like to ramble, so this is the part where I'm allowing myself to ramble on. None of these thoughts are necessarily to the point where they're factual information. They're not just, I believe, I think, I say, I this, I that. It's more or less where I try to put factual bits into things as well as, bring in my point of view on it. So it's always worth challenging anybody that has anything to contribute or say counter to it. It's always welcome. But only for the facts that you have 3 supporting facts to your argument. You can't say, I disagree with that because it's stupid. No, that's not an argument. That's not a debate in any form or facet. It's just idiocy, honestly. I mean, if you're going to say you're against something, that's perfectly acceptable. Make your supporting argument. That's fine. Have a disagreement. Be opinionated in your way. That's perfectly acceptable. That's what debating and disagreements and understandings, that's where all that's relevant. But not for the simple fact that you just say, I don't like it because I think it's stupid, or it doesn't work, or okay, that's fine. If it doesn't work, why doesn't it work? What point of view, what set of guidelines do you have exactly that make it disagreeable? Or what can you prove to make it wrong in your view? Besides saying in this book of this, that my one book told me this. Okay, so what facet? Oh, because some guy mystically or whatever. You know, I'm being picky on that one only because there's so many people that just they view their point of view as exactly right, which, you know, I'm wrong a lot of the times. I won't lie. I mean, if someone can prove that I'm completely wrong on a scenario, I can accept it. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's very hard to want to accept that you're wrong, and it's really hard to change someone's viewpoint, which I don't try to. I prefer the understanding of their viewpoint as opposed to trying to change their viewpoint. So that I know where I need to go, how I need to work with you, and understanding the side, you know? Because you don't understand people unless you understand how they think. And if you understand how they think and why they believe the way they do, it makes things more cohesive. You can understand one another and you can pass problems over easier that way. But for the simple fact of just disliking something because you don't have a valid point to disagree with it, no, it's not. That's truly just idiocy. Just stick your head in the dirt and just don't breathe anymore, because that's about as valid as you're going to get on it. But you don't even have to be smart in the area of that. You just got to have some sort of validation to your point if you're going to disagree or pro for it. So this is more current and relevant to our situation. I'm using the word current too much, but okay, the whole Bernie and Trump debate thing. I'm a personal fan of Bernie. I won't lie. I feel the burn quite avidly, and I understand the point of view that someone doesn't want to debate against somebody. But this whole flip-flopping thing, okay, if he's wrong, that's perfectly acceptable. Defend your point. This is where the argument goes, I'm wrong or I'm right because I'm right. You know, people that bellow, make themselves predominant, sounded like they're this alpha whatever bull malarkey, just this bullying aspect where you don't actually have facts, you don't have validation, you don't have any real concrete support. You just say it because you're used to saying it and having a louder voice and being this kind of like an ape, just pounding your chest because I'm right. And it's just like, okay, that's stupid. But worst is when you do that and then you say, hey, I will do it. I'll debate, but then I'll do something. I'll do it. And then when it comes to the crunch, you're like, no. Against better judgment, I won't. That's stupid. Don't boast or make claims. If you're going to be hesitant about something, that's fine. Don't flip-flop on the subject. Don't draw a red line and commit yourself to something and then back away from it. Because that only shows how incompetent you truly are in the area that you're trying to prove being competent in. You're saying, I'm going to do this, and then all of a sudden you back off. Okay, if you truly believe that it's beneath you to debate or beneath you to do something, or your associates tell you otherwise, okay then, that's cool. But don't say you're going to do something, lie, and say, oh, give me this, and then they meet up to those expectations, and then they say, okay, let's do this, and then you're all about, no, I'm not going to do it. It's just, really? For a president to be a potential leader of the free world, not the largest nation by far, by landmass or population, but the largest economy in the world, the single most powerful entity in the world at this time and juncture, you're going to be the leader of this free world. When some aggressor or someone that's going to try to strong-arm you says, you need to face me or face up. Yeah, it takes more gall to face them than it does to say, oh, I'll send other people to do it. Anybody can do that. A true leader, a true man of the people, and a true understanding will take on what challenges are necessary. You're not going to throw yourself into a situation, if you're intelligent now in you, you're not going to throw yourself in a situation where you're not guaranteed to win, or you can't win. I mean, you're going to think of a solution, and then you're going to make it to the best of your advantage. You're not going to be, yeah, I'll do it, and then just back away, you know? You got to be intelligent. Men like Eisenhower, for example, I mean, brilliant men, capable men. They didn't just put their foot in their mouth, you know? They didn't blow off smoke or said something just because they thought it was cool or tough or make them better and then back away from it. I mean, you're going to be this president is going to be in the same category as great men like Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington, obviously, Abraham Lincoln. There's Eisenhower, I mentioned him earlier. You're going to have Franklin D. Roosevelt. Some of these men, even like Truman, I mean, some people may say Truman's otherwise, but the man had to make a decision after his cousin, Franklin Roosevelt, had died in office. He was all of a sudden just catapulted into the presidency without any former knowledge of what was going on. All of a sudden, these generals come up and say, "Sir, we have the hydrogen bomb. We need to know if we're going to drop it or not." This man was conducting the final conclusions of World War II with no prior knowledge to any of this. This man had to deliberate on the systematic destruction and a systematic annihilation of a population of people in 2 cities in a war that had been going on for, at that time, 4 years, with huge sums of money being spent, huge sums of manpower and lives being spent for the ideals of freedom and liberty, and also because of we can't let them get away with it. And this man was thrown into that position. He didn't choose it. He was a vice president, for goodness sake, a position that normally ends a political career in any scenario. And this man was put in that position, and he had to make these 2 decisions. This humongous decision that had never before been done in history, nor has a similar situation has ever been faced by a man in a position like that. And you're thinking, my goodness, this man has to weigh with this decision. Hundreds of thousands are going to continue to die. He has a decision to either drop these bombs and end this war potentially, or potentially risk 1 million American soldiers dying in the initial invasion, or not 1 million soldiers, but hundreds of thousands of soldiers dying upon the invasion of this island nation of Japan, with 1 million men army needed in order to do it. And the tenacity that was going to be, the whole thing is mind-boggling. Until you can rationalize that men of this potential level have to make these kinds of decisions, that these are not lighthearted decisions. You don't get to go, oh, well, no, maybe I will do it. Oh, no, I can't do it. No, you are you're going for the single most powerful position in the world, in the known world. America has over 1,000, okay, I'm being really small scale, over 2,000, easily over 2,000 IBCM. These nuclear missiles, these warheads now that can decimate entire regions, not cities anymore, regions, entire nations. And you're potentially going to put a blubbering orangutan, as some of my favorite comedians potentially said, you're going to put a blubbering orangutan who can't even debate a 7-year-old democratic socialist. He can't even face him. He can't even make a decision on that accord without having to talk to other people. Yet this big, strong man is supposed to lead the greatest nation, one of the greatest nations on the face of the earth. It's freaking crazy. It's mind-boggling. The fake. And people begin to wonder, well, there's a reason why we have this delegation system, why we have the election the election system as it is, because you have friggin' idiots, popular idiots that want to vote a orangutan into office. It's just craziness, crazy. And I'm not saying Bernie ain't any better, you know. He's a democratic socialist. He's a peace lover. He wants to, you know, reform our economy and stuff into a democratic socialism, which is pretty much the government assists its people and uses the money instead of fighting and promoting things in world order. He wants to, you know, benefit the lives of the individual and the people inside. And yeah, it won't be free. Everyone's fussing about the freeness of it. It won't be free. It's going to cost people some money, but if done right and done with our support, it can work. I mean, Europe does it. England does it. France does it. Denmark does it. Switzerland does it. Sweden does it. Practically a whole European Union is now democratic socialist. And they have their system is not wrong necessarily. It has problems like all systems do, but healthcare for all it isn't a problem. It really isn't. I mean, you're already paying taxes and you already hate paying taxes. Why not pay taxes for something, you know? Okay, well, if I get a toothache, I can go to the dentist and I don't have to worry about, you know, paying any of that because I've already paid it in taxes. It's like it's just, sometimes you can't understand these things. I can't understand what people are thinking necessarily in it. But each politician has his own flaws and stuff, but I'm not looking for a politician. I'm looking for a statesman. And I feel that in this scenario, Bernie Sanders is about as close to a statesman as we can get. And there is a huge difference between a politician and a statesman. A statesman is a man who understands the state and he can organize the state in an effective way that benefits everybody as well as the state and can do things that nobody else really wants to do or believes that should be done, but it is for the greater good. A politician is somebody that rubs palms with everybody. He tries to make everybody happy. He tries to do things that are just, he's a politician. He plays politics. He doesn't do the state. He doesn't work for a government. He just, whatever somebody says and he agrees with, and if he can, you know, mediocrely do something and get away with it and it's okay, he'll do it. He won't do anything that is actually truly beneficial to the people. He won't make the hard decisions. He won't make the hard choices. That's what we don't need, but that's what we have a plethora of, plenty of. But with that being said, we need statesmen, not politicians. But, oh goodness gracious, I swear. It's sometimes I read some of these things and like just recently with Obama, this is relating still World War II and the bombings. There was a correlation to it all. I don't make the circles. I make freaking octagons, which is... I'm terrible at geometry. Don't judge me. I was never good in math. I was always good in history and international affairs. Don't judge me. So, the whole scenario with Obama supposedly apologizing to Japan for dropping the bombs. He necessarily didn't apologize. What he was talking about was the atrocities that were committed in the name of peace and in the name of ending a conflict that was engulfing the world at the time. The droppings of these bombs, I personally have visited Hiroshima and I wanted to go to Nagasaki, but I couldn't do it in the time frame I was there. But Hiroshima, if you ever go there and you ever see the sights and you ever look at it, it's not talking about the war. It's not addressing, oh, America's villainous. Oh, America was horrible people. No, America is truly never mentioned in a villainous way of dropping this bomb. Nor do they see themselves necessarily as the villain that attacked America and we deserve this. No. What it does is promote the idea against nuclear warfare. Because that is the atrocity that came out of that war. The recognition that this weapon of unimaginable power that can annihilate hundreds of thousands of lives in an instance and cause such repercussions that even to this day there are people that still have cancers that are caused by radiation exposure to these droppings of bombs. That's what he went there and made recognition for and said this should never happen again, and we should do everything in our humanistic powers to promote against, to stop these events from ever happening again. So get it in your head, some of you people who ever listen to this, hopefully you're in similar mindset or open to the idea of it, that he is not apologizing for dropping the bombs in a war. He's not apologizing for America's action in the conflict. He's not even apologizing. He is saying we should do everything in our power to promote peace and to never, ever have to use those sorts of weapons in a conflict. We should never have to be in a conflict in the first place. But the fact of never promoting those weapons and never using them again is what he's talking about. The atrocities and the horror that have been brought by those weapons should never have to be seen in its entirety in the world again. And that's what he's saying. So I'm going to include a link to what he actually says. So then that's what I interpreted from that. So I believe it's worth watching. If you like him, that's great. If you don't like him, that's perfectly understandable. I respect your decision on it. But you need to listen to what he says before you start saying what I've dealt with recently. He's a terrorist. He's terrible. Murder. We were bombed. We should bomb them. We were justified. No. That is complete, utter arrogance. It's idiocy in its primal form. Just simply watch what he's... Listen, not watch. Listen to what he says. You don't even have to look at the man. Just listen to the words that he's saying. Let those words ring into your head what he means and what he's saying. He's not talking from the point of view of America in a sense of he's representing America. He is. But he, as the position itself is always claimed, the ruler of the free world. He is talking on humanity's behalf as the single most powerful person controlling the single most powerful entity on the planet at this time, that we should promote and stop any warfare that leads to this point. And we should never accept that this is in a justifiable way. It is wrong no matter who's right or who's wrong using it. The annihilation of human life is never acceptable. Never. But, well, I got my tangent out of my system. I got my rant. Woo! Alright, so either you disagree or you agree with me. It's whichever. I'm not here to say otherwise. I just want to hear myself talk for the most part. So, I have comments down there. Comment on them. Like I said, if you're going to comment, I accept it. You are free to do it. But be literate, be constructive, and have a point. Don't just ramble on about how stupid, how this or that. If you have a point, bring in some validity into your comment and your disagreement, and let's have a debate. I'll be more than happy with it. And yes, at some point, there are facts in what I'm saying are wrong. I may get dates wrong. I may get factual numbers wrong. But the core concept of what I've said is not necessarily wrong. It's actually not wrong in my point of view. And with the supporting evidence that I do have and my understanding of the subjects is not wrong. Just the factual based parts of the statistics are wrong, usually, is what it is. So, now, back to the greater part of my things. Cool plugins and credits I like to do. This is the closing part. So, if you stuck to this far, you're almost there. Last leg of the stretch. Anyway. My inspirations. I have to give, I guess they're called shout-outs now. I suppose that's what you would say. These are shout-outs. I have some videos that I truly love. That are just, they make me laugh every other day. Donkey. He'll never hear from this, but every video you do, it makes me want to just like, as I told one of my friends, this is straight from our mouths. It makes my penis cry a little bit every day whenever I watch some of your videos. So take that as it is. It's not supposed to be perverted or bad, but it's joyous. It just makes me laugh so hard. Every video is nonsensical. It has no form of structure besides being funny and just out there and random bits of just random bits of stupid, as I call it, because I do that. I love doing that. And I just enjoy the videos and they make me laugh. because I'm just like, oh my god, someone had to come up with this, had to create this, and the dialogue just pulls it together. So, with that said, thank you, Donkey. Thank you for being my inspiration. Thank you for enlightening me on the ways of humor that I'd never previously thought were acceptable in this day and age. And this is another inspiration that is actually less humorous, but is more down to the core who, as a person, I want to be. Elon Musk. Just recently, SpaceX is getting ready to launch, or they have already launched. I may be wrong on my dates, but they're getting ready to launch their fourth, if I'm correct, I may be wrong, the fourth Falcon, I think Falcon 1 spaceship. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but this is where I tell you the details are never my strong suit, but the core of what I'm saying is right. They're getting ready for the third time or fourth time launch this satellite with a huge telecast or satellite, telecommunication satellite into orbit. And then once the ship comes down, it's going to land for the third most successful time. The concept is that with this sort of ship landing, it makes it reusable. And it drastically cuts down the costs of going to space. Thus, further encouraging that one day in my lifetime, I will be able to, as a consumer, go to space. I'll be able to ride into space on a flight that'll be affordable to someone like me, potentially. That is the most exciting and just... It's one of the few things that truly make you want to stay on this earth to see and live. That is. Because I'm just beyond excited. That just sounds so cool. So, and truthfully, Elon Musk, you'll never hear this, but you're one of my heroes of today's modern world and one of the titans of our generation. And seriously, wow. The life you've lived and the things you've done and the risk you've taken to achieve dreams and ideas and goals are just mind-boggling. And for that, I commend you, because that's something I aspire to, and I want to be something similar. I don't want to have to do the same things necessarily, because I don't have the intelligence in that area. But if I can do the same, contribute the same amount that you have done in your respective fields, and be able to inspire other people the same way you have done me, then my life has had a purpose, and that's where I want to go, and that's what I want to do. So I thank you for revitalizing the ideas and the vision and the drive that I felt like I'd lost for a long time. So I want to thank you for that, Elon Musk. Now enough with the inspirational moment, which brings everyone back up to, hey, I feel a little bit better. And maybe you'll look up some of these people. I hope you do, because they have truly enlightened my life with their work and done. My plugs. Everyone has plugs. I hope you guys will check out my website. I'm revamping it currently as we speak, because I feel like I like to do that occasionally. I just like to redo it and try to make it better. I'll find some consistency to it and make it to the vision I have for it. But till then, visit my website for all the junk that I think is cool and I like. www.cohort.com. co.com. It is my personal website. It has everything about me, everything you want to know about me, everything that I like to do, everything I think is cool, everything. So check it out. Check it out for the sake of clicking it. Check it out. Or, share it with a friend. Just any support. I have Imgur, which I'm going to link. Stuff I Find Funny is the name of my person on there. Imgur. I'll have the link below. It has all the pictures you're currently seeing are the pictures that I personally like and find all over the place. So I hope you'll check it out and look at some of the pictures that I do promote and post, because all these pictures and all these relations, encourage interest. You can look at you find this picture and you're like, hey, that picture, what is that from? Or what is that cool? It sparks an image. A picture, as they say, is worth 1,000 words. And in art class, I learned great depths on photos. Not only photos, but paintings, art forms, and such. So these photos inspire me in ways that I never thought about. So I hope it does the same to someone else. And I hope I can share that with other people. I have a Facebook. It's down there in the links. Go check it out. It has random stories that I post up. It has random things that I personally do. And it's more social. You can interact with, actually get in contact with me, talk with me on there occasionally. So, that's the most closest reaction and content or connection you can have with me. Anyway, if you have not, you should consider subscribing to my channel. If you find some of this stuff interesting that I promote and do, that's great. Show your support by subscribing, commenting. That's where it truly lies. Give someone some form of accreditation to feel that they're needed or wanted, or they're liked. And that's how you do it on YouTube. You give them a like, or you give them some subscription, or a subscription. You can only give one. I don't know my math. Anyway, the song credit. These artists that I find online as well, they deserve some recognition because some of the work that they do will go forever unnoticed. But I'm determined to share what I know of them. I'm not doing this necessarily for any monetary gains or any of that. All I'm doing is, hopefully you'll like the content, you'll like what they're singing or what their musical talents are, and you'll go look at them, and you'll go share their stuff and support them as you do me. Hopefully you do me as well. But this is, we gotta support everyone. Every small person in this world comes together to make one great thing. I don't know these guys personally or women personally, but give them your support anyway because they deserve it. They truly work hard on the material that they produce and they share with everyone in the world. So I want to do my part. With that though, check all down below us in the description for all the links I have talked about, for all the special cool stuff I have. Be sure to, if you go out today and you see somebody, give them a smile, or, say hello, or, be polite, open a door. Kindness is something we need in this world. Criticism is always there. Meanness, cold-heartedness, it's always going to be there. But the thing that takes more energy and takes more drive and makes you a truly happier and better person is to smile and to say hello. Or simply just be a better person that way. And you'll be able to help not only yourself, but you may just help someone else. Someone else that has a sad idea, has problems in their own lives. We all have problems. But even if we can't solve them, even if we can't overcome them necessarily right now, just try. Just give a little bit, a smile, a thank you, a hello, or hey, thank you. Just even that small courtesy can do wonders. It's like a ripple effect in the water. A single drop in the still water, and it causes a ripple effect, and it goes as far as possible depending on the strength of it. Even the slightest drop could cause such a ripple that it'll have people just doing so much better longer, and it'll cause a sharing effect. Just like yawns. Yawns, you see someone yawn, it makes you yawn. You see someone smile, it makes you want to smile, and you share it to other people. So with that, I hope I closed on a more lighter note, because I know my previous podcast was a little bit more darker and a little bit not as happy and going. So I hope this one does better. And I hope my tangent didn't deter other people. And like I said, comment down below me. Let's go. Anybody. I welcome any and everybody. And anyone that is ever interested in contributions, working together, whatever, man. Just contact me. Let's go at it. And otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week. Until next time, stay beautiful, stay classy, and don't be nasty. Take care, everyone.